She hit him with the body. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, got into a fuss.
Yeah, she let it, you know what I'm saying? She ain't up. Now we gotta teach her how to bob and weave. All right, y'all. We give praise, honor, esteem to the living Elohim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. Let's pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. So search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life. And there they will testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, you receive me not. But notice I come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There's one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. You believe not his writings. How shall you believe my words? All praises be to Abba and Shamahim in the name of Yahushua. Let's get this Revelation 11 and 1. From Revelation 11 and 1. We'll go back to Genesis 25 to Malachi chapter 1. That's not GMO right there. That's not GMO. Hold on, Jay. That's what the can say. They all say that. They lying to us.
What's wrong, Mama?
Shoot, man, y'all gonna make sure you go, y'all can slide on YouTube, man, on each channel, man, and check out that Do Believe for the free. Whole album on that, man. Will and Darius on the track on that, man. They hate the Bible. Trav on that with bitter water. It's sliding. I let Boop hear it. Boop like the instrumentals. I'm talking about the baby Boop, not the larger one. The one that.
Did he put that song on?
The one that.
Maybe it's not all of my head. Is that one
on? Yeah.
I like this one.
Yeah. Now we're talking about the Boop that poops on herself. I don't know. The older Boop might do it. Hey, sometimes it hits your stomach. You can't make it.
Well, I haven't experienced that just yet.
Every man in here done had an experience where their stomach hit them and they thought, boy, I don't know if I'm gonna make it to a toilet in time. You know what I'm saying? It's a serious matter. It's dire straits. Run as fast as you can, but you can't run fast when you got your booty clenched.
I'm sure that's an Olympic sport.
You know what I'm talking about? It should be an Olympic sport. Running to the toilet with your butt clenched. Can you hold it before it arrives? Revelation 11:1. And it was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the Malachim stood, saying, Rise and measure the temple of Elohim and the altar and them that worship therein. But the court which is without the temple leave out, measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles in the Kadash city, they shall tread underfoot 42 months. I will give unto my two witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. These are the two olive trees and the two candlesticks standing before the Elohim of the Arats. If any man will hurt them, fire proceed out of their mouth and devour their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must be in this manner killed. These have power to shut Shamahim that it rain not in the days of their prophecy, and have power over waters to turn them to blood and to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they will. So, with that being said, we talked about something with Esau, man, on the tail end Wednesday night. And something came to my mind about an hour or so ago. We're going to look at that too. They can walk around here with gallons of water. You lifting weights. Hey, this nigga don't lift no damn weights. This nigga capped out. This nigga go to the gym for 2.5 weeks and then talking about I'm good. You don't lift no weight. You're disrespect to a weight room. Oh, I feel like that about everybody who work out for a little bit. I lost some weight. I ain't got to go back in here no more. It's disrespect to the weight room. That's what they all say. They never go. This is serious for me. Start looking what? What you say? Looking strong. So you gonna look like a man? That what you trying to do? Angela Bassett don't look like nothing. She just lean. She just lean. She don't look like no man. She just lean. Serena Williams look like a man in the face.
We're gonna go for Angela. Not for Angela. Yeah, I like Angela.
No, Serena ain't big, but she's already a big woman. She lean, so that's why she look like that. Yeah, that's all that is. The leaner you get, now see what ends up happening because it's a lady in the gym. They start getting that back. That kind of the shoulders kind of start getting broad and their back starts spreading. You know, you just got to be careful with that. But Sean just told you it's a full-time job. I've been working out for 15 years. You know how many days I took off? Damn. Not man. You good, nigga? This nigga disrespect me in my house, y'all. I don't appreciate it. Who said I'm lying? Come on here, Genesis 25. You see the disrespect? The disrespect. You came in this nigga. How you get this nigga rice and macaroni? This nigga crazy. This nigga starts out. What's wrong with this nigga? This nigga trying to get diabetes.
I made green beans. You
don't want green beans.
She trying to make it at the last minute. There's no love in those green beans.
That boy say wasn't no love in the green beans. That boy say ain't no love in the green beans.
I'm trying to make them before we came.
I'm sorry, y'all. Let me get to it. I think say no love in them green beans. Genesis 25 and 27, man. Y'all get y'all Malachi 1:1 with it. And the boys knew Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. Jacob, a plain man, dwelling in tents. Isaac loved Esau because he did eat venison. Rebekah loved Jacob. Jacob saw a pottage. Esau came from the field, and he was faint. Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray you, with the same bread, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. Excuse me. And Jacob said, sell me this day your birthright. Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. What profit shall this birthright do to me? Jacob said, swear to me this day, and he swore unto him, and he sold his birthright to Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and a pottage of linen. Look at he gave man. See, a lot of people don't even talk about the bread. He gave him the bread too. You know what he turned around again? Let me show y'all something, man. See, it's a few things in my brain, and I felt like, you know what? Yeah, we talking about plagues, but I'm gonna do this too. Y'all bear with me because my screensaver is bad, and I refuse to take it off because I haven't bought a new one yet, and I dropped my phone a lot, and I'm not buying another. He's not right now. Lee, you know what Isaac's name means? Lee. Rebecca's name though means ensnarer. Isn't that apropos, ladies and gentlemen? A fettering. Why is it apropos that Rebecca's name means ensnarer? Think about Jacob. That question. Why is it apropos that Rebecca's name means ensnarer? No. I mean, that's what she did, but that's not why it's apropos. Not even because she took the sin upon her. Because Jacob's name means supplanter. So the one, I'll put it this way, right? The mother loved him. The ensnarer loved the supplanter. You know what I'm saying? He that laughed loved, shalom, Brother Reynolds, Ruddy. Shalom, Brother Alex. Y'all see how that works? So what do we have here, right? So when you have Isaac loving the firstborn, right? He that laughed loved Ruddy. Is there anything that y'all can put together and ascertain from that? Oh, you can. They put you in your car, Joanne? Come on here, Joanne. Little Grace baby. Shalom, sir. I listened to the whole record too, man. You know what I'm saying? The baby liked a few tracks. I can't remember which ones it was, but she did like about 3 of them. She did like 3 of them. The ones that she stopped and paid attention to. We always know when she likes something because she claps. Pauses and claps. She was upset at the beginning because Busy Beavers was on and Busy Beavers was the movie. She wasn't too pleased with that. Shalom, good sir. So Edom means ruddy. So if Edom means ruddy, what's the first thing that you should equate to that? Yeah, I mean, what's the first thing you should equate to Edom if he ruddy? Adam. So he that laughed loved Adam. So with you looking at he that laughed, what should be equated to that? Well, that is the father loving the firstborn son or the promise. So give me John 3:16, Mr. Starch. Tony Starch.
Elohim so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son.
He did what?
Gave his only begotten son.
For what cause?
That whosoever believe in him should not perish.
Should not what?
Perish, but have everlasting life.
Have what?
Everlasting life.
Have what?
Everlasting life.
Okay. That's good. You know why this is important? Because in this instance, Esau has perished because he's done what? He gave up his birthright. So I need you to do me another favor. I need you to get me Hebrew chapter 2. And I need you to get me verse 4.
Elohim also bearing witness, both with signs and wonders, and with diverse miracles, and gifts of the Ruach HaKodesh, according to his own will.
That's right.
From to the Malachims hath he not put in subjection the world to come, whereof we speak. But one in a certain place testifies, saying, what is man?
What is who?
What is man?
That you are what?
Mindful of him. Or the son of man.
That you should visit him.
You made him a little lower than the Malachim.
You made him what?
A little lower than the Malachim.
You made him what?
A little lower than the Malachim. You crowned him with esteem and honor. And then set him over the works of your hands.
That's right.
You have put all things in subjection under his feet, or that he put all in subjection under him.
Now, why is this important, right? Because what did the birthright have in it, right? Let your mother's brothers bow down to you. And the firstborn, or Adam, the ruddy one, you don't see that both firstborns, both ruddy men forsook their birthright. We talked about Adam doing that. Y'all do see the born. See, this is something that, brother, like I told you, everybody want to point fingers about this, that, and the third, and you're missing the point. So when you turn around and you see Mashiach say, I came down from Shamahin to do the will of my father. Hey, that's what he said. He said that John 6, didn't he? That means he forsook his birthright too. He gave that up. You know what I'm talking about? Now, each one gave up their birthright for different reasons. Adam gave up his birthright for the love of his wife. Yahushua gave up his birthright for the love of mankind. You know what I'm talking about? Esau gave his birthright up because of his appetite. You know what I'm talking about? But nevertheless, Esau giving up his birthright is still representative of Mashiach doing it. Because he forsook his. You know what I'm talking about? And he literally looked at people. You remember, right? That's what he was telling Peter. Give me Matthew 16, man. Give me about verse 19. I just got to get this Esau thing out of the way, then we go back to what we need to talk about.
And I will give unto you the keys of the kingdom of Shamahin.
That's right.
And whatsoever you shall bind on earth shall be bound in Shamahin.
That's right.
And whatsoever you shall loose on earth shall be loosed in Shamahin.
That's right.
Then charged he his disciples that they should tell no man.
That he was what?
Yahushua Mashiach.
Remember what he said when Peter confessed him. Who did Peter say he was? He not only said that he was the Mashiach, he said, you the son of Elohim. So if that means he the son of Elohim, that means he got the birthright. He got the right of the firstborn. But he's telling them, I'm going to forsake that. Listen to him.
From that time forth began Yahushua to show unto his disciples how that he must go into Jerusalem and suffer many things of the elders and chief priests and scribes and be killed.
And be what?
Raised again the third day.
He'd be killed and be what?
Raised again the third day.
Come on with it, man.
Then Peter took him and began to rebuke him.
He did what?
Rebuke him.
And what he said?
Be it far from you, Lord, this shall not be unto you.
He said, it's not going to happen to you, Lord. What the Lord told me.
He turned and said unto Peter, get you behind me, Satan.
Get behind me what?
Satan.
Get behind me, what?
Satan.
Get behind me, what?
Satan.
Why?
You are an offense unto me.
You are what?
An offense unto me.
Why?
For you savor not the things that be of Elohim,
But be a who?
of men.
Of who?
Of men.
So you turn around and sit back and look at it. It was Elohim's will for him to forsake his birthright. Now see, each is put on here because we talked about that on Wednesday. Esau was called profane, common, and unclean because of his lust. See, that's the conversation. See, remember what the Apostle James wrote. He said, you have not because you ask not. And he said, you ask amiss because you ask to consume it upon your lust. See, even like this here, right? And I had the lady, they were having a conversation. And this is something I just be desirous to ask ladies. And it's on my mind because I just asked these ladies this. You know what I'm saying? And I've only really ever heard this conversation in internet spaces. I've never heard people in real life talk like this. Now, if people in real life talk like this, then so be it. And they're talking about being with a man who works a 9 to 5, but they want him to have ambition to want something bigger than that. So basically, they want him to have dreams of being a multi-millionaire businessman. You know what I'm talking about? But see, why is that important? It's driven because of your lust, and you're asking for this. But what are most majority women getting? Are they getting that type of man? No. You know why? Because you asking to consume it upon your lust. Who are not going to give it to you. You know what I'm talking about? See, this is something that a lot of people in this world don't realize. Give them Proverbs 30:1, man. I mentioned this the other day, but I'm going to mention it again. We'll read it out the text. Give me Proverbs. You really need verse 4 and 5, but it don't matter. Give me verse 1.
The words of Agor, the son of Jakeh.
The words of who?
Agor, the son of Jakeh.
Come on with
prophecy.
it, man. Come on.
The man spake unto Ithiel.
What he say?
Even unto Ithiel who calls, surely I, more brutish than any man.
That means I'm stupid.
And have not the understanding of a man.
I don't even have the understanding of Adam. I don't have that.
Neither learn wisdom.
I ain't learned that neither.
Nor have the knowledge of the Kadash.
I don't even know what's that apart.
Who have ascended up into Shamahim.
Who done went into Shamahim?
Or descended.
Who done came down?
Who have gathered the wind in his fist.
What does that mean to gather the wind in his fist? Give him wind and fists. See, and the reason why I focus on this because it's going to get to something or why we're going to discuss Malachi 1 because I don't think we've ever discussed Malachi 1. Yahuwah bear witnesses we have. I don't believe we have. In 10 years, I don't even think we have.
Wind is Ruach.
We know wind is Ruach. What's fists? That's why I'm starting with this now while it's fresh in my mind.
Profen, that is handfuls or hollow of the hand.
Hollow of the hand. Now, when you see Mashiach, when he showed his disciples his hand, what was in the hollow of his hand? A hole. So who has been able to take the Ruach into his fist by sacrifice? So the reason why that's important, he said, "What and if you shall see the Son of Man descend to where he was before?" That's what he said in John 6:62. See, ain't nobody went into Shamahim that came down from Shamahim. See, he came down. Give me John chapter 10, man. Give me verse 14, man. That was in my mind in a second. Y'all bear with me. I might move a little swift. If I'm moving too fast, just let it be known. Because if you don't say nothing, boy, I'm going to roll, man. Just like a rock down a hill.
I am the good shepherd.
That's right.
And know mine, and am known of mine.
That's good.
As the Father know me, even so I know the Father. And I lay down my life for the sheep.
He do what?
Lay down my life for the sheep.
Come on now.
Another sheep I have, which are not of this fold.
Which are not of this what?
This fold.
Pause. Also, why do y'all think that Isaac loved, you say Isaac loved Esau because of his what? His Vincent, right? When you make Vincent, what that Vincent gonna give off? A sweet smelling savor. You know what I'm talking about? So I don't want y'all to get caught up on the natural aspect. See how it's gonna flip between Yahushua, between both sons as the story goes on. You know what I'm talking about? But then also we're gonna see how it's gonna flip between Yahushua and the beast. So you got to be paying attention. You know what I'm talking about? Because it's gonna switch, it's gonna change on you real quick. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Come on with it, man.
Them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold
and one what?
Shepherd.
That's right.
Therefore, do my Father love me because I lay down my life.
Because they do what?
Lay down my life.
Because he do what?
Lay down my life.
And why is that?
I might take it again.
That he might do what?
Take it again.
So if he laid down his life, I mean, he laid down his birthright just so he could pick his birthright up again. See, I'm reading that because, right, it say he who ascended and descended, right? Mm-hmm. So if he descended, remember what we can read in Isaiah 14? Oh, Lucifer, son of the morning, how have you fallen from where? Heaven. What can we read in Lamentations 2:1? The beauty of Yasharal has been cast down to the earth. So if the son of the light, the son of the day, and Elohim is light and no part darkness, that means this is the son of Elohim. He has descended, meaning he laid his birth, because that's what you're getting told in Isaiah 14. Y'all do realize that Isaiah 14, he's showing you that he Esau because he gave up his birthright. Y'all didn't realize that in Isaiah 14 that Lucifer's giving up his birthright. Y'all didn't pay attention to that. Y'all didn't see that. Into him. Isaiah 14 and 12. Look at that. You see them apples over there? Them is grade A apples right there. And Muffin can't bite none of them because she ain't got no teeth. I can bite.
How are you falling from Sham ground?
Come on.
Which did weaken the nation.
Come on.
For you have said in your heart.
You said what?
I will ascend into Shamahim.
You'll ascend where?
To Shamahim.
You'll ascend where?
Shamahim.
So if he ascended to Shamahim, that means he would have picked his life up again because he said he had been cut down to the earth. I mean, he had been killed. You know, this can't be Satan. Satan can't be killed. You can't kill an angel. You cannot kill an angel. You ever seen an angel get killed? I haven't. Why you can't kill an angel? Because they're a ruach. You can't kill a ruach. Why you think Yahuwah had to become flesh? You can't kill a ruach. You can torment a ruach, but you can't kill one. Because ruachs don't die. You know what I'm talking about? Remember, it told you that he made his angels or his malachim flaming fire. You know what I'm saying? So they're ruachs, they're spirits. You can't kill a spirit. So Satan can't be cut down to the ground because Satan can't kill an angel. That you cannot do. That's one of the biggest mistakes that we make. You cannot kill an angel. You can't read nowhere in the text where an angel was put to death. Like men die. Didn't we just read, he said, I made you a little Lord for the Malachim, for the sufferings of death? Now give them cut down in Hebrew in Isaiah 14 on general principles.
Godah, to cut, hew, chop, cut down, hew off, cut into, shave off.
You cut it off, what you did to it. You killed it. You can't kill an angel. So you got to pay attention to that. You got to pay attention to that. That ain't talking about no angel. That's talking about a man. We just read it in Proverbs 30, right? It said who ascended and descended, right? Mm-hmm. He talking about he wanted to do what? Read it again. Isaiah 14 and 12.
How are you fallen from Shamahim, O Lucifer, son of the morning? Are you cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations?
That's right, Stanley.
You have said in your heart, I will ascend into Shamahim.
He'll do what?
Ascend into Shamahim.
Where you read anywhere in the book where the devil said he was going into heaven? Where you ever read that at? Where you ever seen that at? People only tell you that's the devil right there. Nowhere in the book do the devil say he want to go into heaven. Nowhere. How is he going to go into heaven and take the throne of God? How is the devil going to want to be like the, if he want to be like the Most High, that means he will have to want to be Kadash, righteous and upright. That means he'd have to want to tell the truth. But what did Yahushua say he was? He was a liar and the what? The father of it. And there was no what in it. True. So that means he don't want to be like Elohim then. See, this is stuff you have to pay attention to. Because I'm mentioning it like this here because why did we let people tell us this was the devil? And why would we hold on to fight to it so bad when nobody ever explained to us why this was the devil? They just told us it was the devil and focused on the parts that they say, see, that's private. But as a man, shouldn't you want to be like the Most High? You should want to be like him. Don't you want to reign with him? Didn't this man say, if you overcome, you'll be sit down in my throne with me? Did not he say, did not two men go ask him, hey man, can we sit, well, their mother, excuse me, can we go sit down? You sit my sons at your left and your right hand when you come in your kingdom? See, we don't think about these things. See, it make people uncomfortable. See, people hear that, oh, you blaspheming. But do the blaspheming, nigga, because you tell me you a God and you can sin. You know what I'm talking about? You got some niggas be like, oh, we all sin. You blaspheming, nigga. Because if you say you got the Ruach of God in you, and it's okay to sin, you say God sin, boy. Don't the book say far be it for Elohim to do iniquity? Don't the book say Elohim don't sin? So how you got his spirit in you and you sinning? You blaspheming. You just said the Ruach HaKodesh will dwell in a man while he's sin, meaning that he teach you to sin. You damn fool, you. And I say that in a literal sense. Because you damning yourself. You don't even realize you blaspheming the Ruach HaKodesh at that point. We don't even realize that. We don't even question. Why do you have to understand something, right? And I'm not being harsh for the sake of being harsh. I'm trying to jar your senses for you to pay attention. Why do you believe the things that you believe? Did you go look in the text and make sure that the text agreed with that? Or did you go with that because somebody told you that? Remember how we were talking about at the end Wednesday, how you're supposed to test the spirits? So did you really test that doctrine to make sure that that's the doctrine of Elohim? Did you test that teaching to make sure the word support? Because I don't care if you be like, no, you're supposed to test what I'm telling you. You ain't just supposed to take that off tackle and run. I've said it once and I'll say it again. You're supposed to be more noble than those in Thessalonica because they search the scriptures daily to see if those things were so. That's what you better do. I don't care who talking to you. You know what I'm talking about? That's what you better do. If you're going to sit in here and be like, oh, hum. I said it, so it must be right. I'm going to slap you right upside the back of your head. You know what I'm talking about? What's wrong with you? Just because I give you information, that's still your soul. You know what I'm talking about? That's still your soul. You still supposed to make sure that's right. I don't care how much you don't think somebody would lie to you. I don't care how much you don't think they'll lead you astray. That's not the point. The point is you make sure the book say what he's saying. I don't care who it is. You don't make no exemptions. Don't respect the persons. Do not do it. Y'all understand that? Don't do it. I don't care if it's me. I don't care if it's another one of these men around here. Do not do it. You make sure the book say what that person's saying. You make sure that's the word of Yahuwah. Don't you sit around here and be lazy like that. That don't make sense. I ain't never told y'all that. I ain't never taught y'all that. And I ain't going to tell you that. And I'll be on your head if you sit there and be lazy like that. Don't be lazy with your soul. Come on with it, man.
For you have said in your heart, I will ascend into Shamahim. I will exalt my throne above the stars of Elohim.
He'll exalt his throne above the what?
Stars of
Don't Psalm 45 and 7 say, I'll exalt you, anoint you above your fellows? The stars, we know what that is. That's Tokah. That's the sons of Mashiach. I mean, he going to have a throne above the angels. That's a birthright. That's a birthright. Come on with it, man.
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation.
He'll sit where?
The mount of the congregation.
Y'all know what the mount of the congregation is. That's in Mount Zion. That's David's throne. That's a birthright. That's a birthright. He gave that up. Because he said, oh, Lucifer, son of the morning, how you fallen and you've been killed. He gave that up. Listen to him.
The sides of the north.
In the sides of the where?
Of the north.
Yeah, y'all do this here. Because I'm not going to pull it out and read it tonight. You go read Psalms 48. I ain't telling you the verse. You go read Psalms 48. Matter of fact, y'all do it right now. I want everybody right now on YouTube, on Clubhouse, I want everybody to go to Psalms 48. I want everybody to go to Psalm 48. And I want y'all to tell me when you get there, where does it say the size of the north is? God bless Brother Langford. I want everybody to go to Psalm 48. And I want you to tell me where it tell you the size of the north is. And I want you to put it in the chat. I want you to put it in the chat. I want everybody on YouTube and Clubhouse, if you're able, to put it in the chat. Shalom, Tommy, man. It's serious. I want y'all to go to Psalm 48. I want you to read it, and I want you to tell me where does it tell you the size of the north is. Not the verse, Andrew. Tell me where it's at. Come on, YouTube. Y'all slacking. Look like Clubhouse. Y'all slacking now. You know what I'm talking about? I need you to tighten up on your business. Tell me, I want y'all to tell me where you see where it's at. Who is texting me talking about they gonna fulfill the apocalypse of Elijah? Who's this texting? I don't even know nobody from no 831. Ah, I know who that is, man. Man, dear, that's your man's. He done appeared out of nowhere. You see that there? The sides of the north. Read that Isaiah 14 one more time. What verse you in? 13?
Mm-hmm. Or verse 14.
Verse 14, Isaiah 14 and 14.
I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet you shall be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit.
No, that ain't verse 14.
I'm saying I finished it.
Yeah, I need you to read it when he say the sides of the north.
For you have said in your heart, I will ascend into Shamahim. I will exalt my throne above the stars of Elohim.
Mm-hmm.
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation and the sides of the north.
And the sides of the north. And y'all just seen in Isaiah 48, it told you the sides of the north is in Zion. Now, y'all know what it means for the sides of the north, right? Somebody on Clubhouse and YouTube, y'all tell me, for the people who don't know, when he say the sides of the north, what is he talking about? You know what he talking about, Doris? He talking about gates. You got to go through the sides of the north or the north gate. And y'all can go read in Ezekiel 48, starting at about verse 30, and you'll see that Judah has a gate on the north side, because he said he'll sit upon the throne in the mount of the congregation. Well, the throne is through what house? That throne is through David. David sit on that throne. What tribe is David from? Judah. So if David is from Judah, who the only one who can sit on the throne? Someone from the tribe of what? Judah. And to get into that throne, he got to go through the north gate to enter into the temple. See, this is something that most Brews ain't told. You can't enter into the gate of the tribe that you're not a part of. If you from Zebulun, you can't go through Asher's gate. You understand? If you from Joseph, you can't go through Levi's gate. You got to go through the gate of the tribe that you belong to. You understand? Now, we only focusing on the Isaiah 14 right now to show you that this son of the morning, this son of Bokor, brought to the sides of the pit. Come on back to Proverbs 30. He said he still ain't touching this one. I understand, man. That Lucifer thing is like he said, that's a hard saying. But I said we've been on this for years. Years. It's been, you know what I'm saying? We done dealt with this multiple times. It's only we mention it now because it's relevant to what we're talking about. This book is laying a birth right now. That's it. Proverbs 30. Because I know some people be like, oh, you're trying to be controversial. Man, we've been preaching that Yahushua is Lucifer since 2013. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, we don't do nothing for shock value. To do something for shock value means you're after attention. If you're after attention, in my opinion, that's a feminine trait, especially if you're preaching the word. No grown man preaching the word should be seeking for attention. You need to go see a therapist if you got the word in your hand and you trying to get people to notice you. You a goofy and a lame. You know what I'm talking about? Preach the word because that's the word. If people hear it, they hear it. If they don't, they don't. If you're doing something purposely to try to get attention, you a lame. You quite possibly sit down to pee. You know what I'm talking about? Go ahead, man. Where you stopped at in Proverbs 30?
Verse 4.
Give me verse 3.
I neither learned wisdom nor had the knowledge of the Kadash. Whoever ascended up into Shamahim.
Who what?
Ascended up into Shamahim.
And who is what?
Descended.
Ain't nobody done that but Yahusha.
Who have gathered the wind in his fist.
He the only one who gathered the ruach.
Who have bound the waters in a garment. Who have established all the ends of the earth.
You see how he say he bound the waters in a garment? He that believe on me, as the scripture has said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. This spake he of the Ruach HaKadosh, that those that believe on him should receive. And he said, this is fine linen, clean and white, which is the righteousness of the saints. Because Job told you, I put on a robe, I put on righteousness like a robe. You understand? See, guess what? The only way the Ruach could be given is the very thing like you seen in Isaiah 14. He had to come down and go back. He had to come down and be killed, raised from the dead, and go back where he came from. So he had to put his birthright down and then pick his birthright back up. You understand? And we're looking at that because it said that Isaac loved Edom or Ruddy, or the father loved the firstborn son, and the firstborn son despised his birthright. Well, Abba and Shamahim loved his only begotten son, who was willing to despise his birthright in order to lay it down so you could get it. And then when he resurrected from the dead, he picked it back up and went back to Shamahim to exalt his throne above the stars to sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north, being like his Abba. Because he said, me and my Abba are one. He said, when you see the Son, you see the Father. They're one and the same. There is no difference. Because they are Echad. That's why you're seeking to be Echad with him. Because he said, the Ruach that's on you and the words that I put in your mouth will be upon the mouth of your seed and the mouth of your seed from henceforth and forever. You would be Echad with him. You know what I'm talking about? You'll be one with him. Because right now, I put it to you this way. Just in a simple sense, right? If you was to tell people, nah, I deny sin, I take up my stake daily and follow. You ain't perfect. You ain't like Jesus. Ain't that what they tell you? Ain't that the same thing they told him when he said he was like his father? They say, nah, bro, you blaspheming. You ain't like God. You don't understand when you had that mindset and you speak that the Ruach of Mashiach would be resting upon you because they going to be coming at you like they came at him. Because guess what it said in Ezekiel 28? You being a man, making yourself Elohim. Because him being a man, they say, no, you ain't God. But how you going to be a son of Elohim and not be in his image and likeness and be like him and speak like him and live like him and do like him? That's why people don't want you. Got to understand people playing games. At the end of the day, they want you to despise your birthright because they despise it. They don't want the right of the firstborn. You understand? Yeah, people look at you crazy like that because remember, right? I'm getting to another point with this, right? Because they said Jacob was a perfect man, dwelling in tents. He was a perfect man who dwelt in the house of Yahuwah. Well, what was Mashiach? A perfect man who dwelt in the house of Yahuwah. Because he said, destroy this temple and I build it back in 3 days, did he not? He said, I dwell in the Father, and the Father dwell in what? In him. So this was a perfect man who dwelt in the house of his father. Never left out of it. This was a perfect man. But it said Esau was a man of the field. He was cunning. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, he was skilled. He was a skilled hunter. Well, what the book tell you that the devil do? Get it for me, man. 1 Peter chapter 5. Give me by verse 4.
And when the chief shepherd shall appear, you shall receive a crown of esteem that fade not away.
That's right.
Likewise, you younger, submit yourselves unto the elder.
That's right.
Yea, all be subject one to another, and be clothed with humility, while Elohim resist the proud and give grace.
See, a lot of people see this here, right, and they think that he's talking about men be subject to women. He said that the younger men should be subject to the older men. His fourth is their authority. And he said that everybody should be subject to another because he's talking to the men. You know what I'm saying? Remember, because what did Mashiach say? He said, man, don't call no man master. He said, because all of you are what? Brethren. You know what I'm talking about? So he didn't want, remember when they said who's the greatest of all, he said, man, he that's greatest among you, let him be a what? A servant. He didn't want the men beefing with one another about who was the best. He said, that's what the Gentiles do. That's what he told them. See, but we'll take that and run that off tackle and make that be our son that Peter ain't talking about. Because I always trip when I hear the husband should submit to his wife. How can a man submit? I need somebody to explain that to me. Because when you say that the husband should submit to the wife, and you saying Yahusha submitting to you. And you're going to have to explain to me how he do that. Now, see, some people going to hear that. That's no disrespecting no woman. But if you're going to say that, you're going to have to show me how is the Lord submitted to us. Because when he submitted to them, he didn't submit unto us. He submitted to who? His father. That was his father's will for him to do that. Oh, have you forgotten what Ezekiel 36 say? I don't do this for you. He said, let this be known. I do this for my name's sake. That's what the man said. He said, I do this for my name. I don't do this for you. That's what the book said. Ain't that what it said? Y'all go read Ezekiel 36 on your own time. Just so you know, see, some of this stuff I'm telling you, go read on your own time, so you'll go read. Not just me say it to you. You know what I'm talking about? But for you to go read it. Some of y'all already know that's what it says. But he said, I don't do this for you. He said, let this be known. I do this for my great name's sake. So how can a husband, two people can't be submitted to one another? You know what I'm talking about? Meaning a leader can't be submitted to his follower. He can serve his follower, but he can't be submitted to them because two people can't yield to two different wills at the same time. That's pure lunacy. Because if Yahuwah is submitted to you, that means he yielded to your will, is he not? And if you submitted to him, that means you yielded to his will. You know what that is? That's confusion. That's confusion. Because who's following whom? See, a lot of people think because a man will serve his wife, that means he's submitted to her. That just lets you know that most women are not even accustomed to having a man actually treat them properly. That they think the man treating them properly is him submitting. You know why a lot of women probably think that in this world too? They used to men submitting to their will because of men's lust. Meaning that whatever she wants, he gonna do it. And it's a lot of men do that because of their lusts. So they think that that's the proper behavior. I want to feel equal. I submit to him, he submit to me. We the same. No, you're not the same. You're not the same. We've already had that conversation. We were just telling me, we've just in the conversation. Zadok them had that conversation. You know how one thing why women and men ain't equal? Because a man got to die for you. That's the expectation. Ain't no man expecting this woman to take no bullet for him. That's right. Esau was hunting down things by his own strength. Jacob just stayed dwelling in you. Now, see, we ain't even talking about the helping out part, Sister Kelly. We ain't even really talking about that. I'm really talking about the mindset of understanding that. Because you know the difference is, Mashiach died for us. That was the expectation. You know what I'm talking about? From his father. Lay his life down for your wife. What did Paul instruct us to do? To be willing to lay your life down for your wife, like Mashiach laid his life. In that, you're not equal. And that's okay. Everything don't have to be equal. That's right. Tommy just mentioned calling no man father. People forget he was talking about the undeserving and non-serving, esteemed, loving Pharisees. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the point what I'm talking about. Because he said to be subject. That's why I'm letting you know it's a different conversation. We go to 10 to be lifting themselves up. Oh, let me read y'all something, man. The Matthew 20, what I'm referencing. Y'all come over here to Matthew 20 real quick, right? I want you to come over here about verse 24. Listen to him. And when the 10 heard, now I got to go to 20 and 20 for full context. And then came to him the mother of Zebedee's children with her sons worshiping and desiring a certain thing of him. He said unto her, what will you? She said unto him, grant that these my two sons may sit, the one on your right hand, the other on your left, in your mouth too. Yahshua answered and said, you know not what you ask. Are you able to drink of the cup that I shall drink of, and to be immersed with the immersion that I'm immersed with? They said unto him, we are able. And he said unto them, you shall drink indeed of my cup and be immersed with the immersion that I am immersed with indignation against the two brethren. But Yahushua called them and said, you know that the princes of the Gentiles exercise dominion over them, and they that are great exercise authority upon them. But it shall not be so among you. Whomsoever will be great among you, let him be your servant. And whosoever will be chief among you, let him be your servant. Even as the son of Adam came not to be served unto, but to serve, and to give his life a ransom for many. You understand? So when you shalom, Shaul, so when you see that in that Peter, when he's saying be subject, it's the men are supposed to be subject to each other, never lifting themselves up over one another. You know what I'm talking about? Because he said, listen what he said. The Gentiles exercise dominion over them, and they that are great exercise authority upon them. In another book, he tell them what? He say those that are great are benefactors. That means there's a benefit that they're going to get. But Luke 17:9 tell you what? He said, when you get finished, commanded doing all things that you were commanded to do, say I'm an unprofitable servant doing what it is my duty to do. You know what I'm talking about? So I want you to just understand and see the difference. The man and the man can't be submitted to his wife. But the brother's supposed to be submitted to each other. Though, this is something I told y'all before. Though the apostle has high authority, he would be a servant unto everybody. Because he's not going to use his authority as a means to benefit off the people. You know what I'm talking about? It's not a come up for him. He's going to actually do the work of a minister and labor to benefit the people, not for the people to benefit him. Not walking here, I'm the apostle and you're going to listen to me. Now, if he has to exert his authority because there's chaos going on, that's what he got to do. You know what I'm talking about? He ain't read it yet. Matter of fact, go back to verse 1 in 1 Peter. But let me find the one when he tell them that they benefactors, man. Just hear that. And if you don't know what a benefactor is, I ain't trying to be rude. Go look it up. See, I want you to come over here, Luke 22 and 24. You can make it Luke 22 and 23. He said they began to inquire among themselves which of them it was to do this thing. There was also a strife among them, of which of them should be accounted the greatest. And he said unto them, the kings of the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and they that exercise authority upon them are called benefactors. But you, what the prophecy say, the elder gonna do what? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You see how that works? You see how that works? You see how that go right with the law? That go right with the law. Because he was already trying to show you that Mashiach, that go right with the law. Because he was already trying to show you that Mashiach would serve us. So if the law tell you this, how you say you're going to keep the law and the men can't be, see, some people try to like to say, oh, you can't say none of this here. That's your own insecurities. You know what I'm talking about? See, a lot of brothers have their own insecurities that they put off on other people. Also, some men project on what they would do if they had the opportunity to have authority. You know what I'm talking about? Some men don't know what to do with authority and power. You know what I'm talking about? They don't know what to do with it. That's why they shouldn't have it. That's why we were going to that Proverbs 30, what I mentioned about some women want men with wealth, but some men, they can't have wealth. Because if they get it, they're not going to know what to do with it. You know what I'm talking about? You let the average person out here get some wealth, they're going to forget you who. I ain't even talking about if they're going to do for their neighbor and nothing like that. I'm just talking about they're going to stop believing in Yahuwah and believe they got it by their own might and their own power. I'm talking about somebody who say they believe in Yahuwah. I ain't talking about no sinner out here who got his money and ain't never served you. We talking about people who serve Yahuwah. Man, don't you know Yahuwah know you better than you know yourself? He know what's going to trip you up. That's why he don't give it to you. Then we already talked about how that man said in James that you ask amiss and he don't give it to you because you're going to consume it upon your lust. Don't you know it's a lot of women, they don't need to be with no man who got no money because they're going to be consumed. Man, look here, right? See, with most dudes who get some money, you know what end up happening with them? They go to acting a donkey if they ain't never had none before. Some of y'all know, y'all used to play the song. You used to play the song? You don't even know what song I'm talking about, do you? You know the song, Lee? You know the song? Tell them the song, Boo, because Boo like that stuff because she thinks she extra on Wednesdays. Oh, no, I ain't talking about the Boosie. I ain't talking about Boosie. I'm talking about Juvenile. G-Code. You ain't never listened to I forgot you niggas disrespect me. Y'all niggas ain't listened to no rap for real. Yeah, it might have been before your time. That's right, Sister Kelly. It was 1999. You was probably still around here playing with your pig. You was in Pampers in 1999? Nigga, when was you born? When was you born? You might have just had some starter panties. Yeah, no, you might have been in starter panties by then. How old you was in 1999, Lee? You were 6. Boot was 7 in 1999. Yes, acting like a nigga who ain't never had nothing on the G code. You say LeBron big and strong. Steph got all the rings though. Steph do profess to be a believer, but his life is contrary though. You know how his life contrary? I ain't even talking about what he do in his life. He ain't got no control of his wife. See, if you want to see anything about a man, if you want to see what type of man a man is, all you got to do is look at his wife. You know what I'm saying? I heard Cam Newton say that the other day, right? He's a weird dressing dude, but that nigga a real nigga though. But I ain't just saying that. I seen he was a real dude because he had a fallout with a teammate who was talking greasy about him. And he seen him when that teammate went to another team. And he walked right up on him and he told a couple other dudes who was around, hey, y'all can walk away. And then when he was talking to him, he had his hands behind his back, no threatening posture, like on some real light. And when the nigga was acting funny, he said, all right, cool, I see what it is, and walked off. That's when I seen that dude there, man, because he handled that like a man. He didn't come on no rah-rah, emotion and stuff, when we got to fight. He stepped to him like a man to have a conversation. And when that man showed himself not to be a man, he conducted himself accordingly after that. But he said if you wanted to see what type of man a man is, he said just look at how his wife behaves. And he said, I tell you all you need to know. And that's a man who you know who was raised by his daddy. Because that's something your daddy will tell you. If you want to know the character of a man, look at his wife. Why you think the book say if you want to be a bishop or a minister, your wife got to be what? Subject to you under all gravity, and she got to be in order along with your children. You know what I'm talking about? If you want to see what type of man a man is, all you got to do is look at how his wife behaves. You know what I'm talking about? And you're going to see everything you need to know. Because you know why? That's why the book say the name of Yahuwah is blasphemed among the Gentiles because of you. The people looking at his wife and they see how his wife behaves, and now they disrespecting him. Because they thinking, well, what type of husband are you? Your wife around here doing this and doing that. See, we don't like to think about stuff like that. We don't pay attention to stuff like that. And you know why? Because most of us weren't taught by men. So we don't even have an understanding on the type of things that men hold to be important. Like I just heard some lady, they were talking about, men being able to show their emotions and this, that, and the third, right? And it's like they said, and they kept asking those women, like, why is it so important for y'all for men to cry? Why do y'all want men to be? They said something in that conversation that I done told y'all before. Men talk about what they feeling. Men think they just do it with other men. You know what I'm saying? So women think that men don't do it, or men know how to channel their emotions. Do you know what that means? Or what you think? What does that mean to you? I'm not being funny, I'm being serious.
That's not displaying emotions.
No. Channeling your emotions is taking whatever emotion you're feeling and directing it to an outlet so that it can be released. So some men channel their emotions through their music. Some men channel their emotions through physical exercise. You know what I'm saying? Some men channel their emotions through Yahuwah, through prayer. Some men channel their emotions by redirecting it to their purpose. You know what I'm saying? And say, this anger, I'm going to take it out on my goals. This frustration, you know what I'm saying? That's how they channel it. See, most women, they're not really taught to do that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are taught to be more expressive. Y'all can get with each other. Y'all talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Men will talk about it, but they'll also take that because I still have to produce. Just like the dude was saying, right? If I was to lose everything today, what's crying gonna do for me? That burden's still on my shoulder. I got to get up and I got to make something happen. That crying ain't gonna do nothing because after the crying, then what? You know what I'm talking about? Then what? Now, see, it's not like I said, nobody's saying there's nothing wrong with you releasing that. You understand? It's the then what? Because that's what a lot of the women in that conversation got stuck at. You know what I'm saying? Like, after you do that, then what? And again, this is not to rag on the ladies. It was just like, okay, then what? I cried. I talked about it. Now what? You know what I'm saying? And they were stuck because they didn't have an answer to the now what. Because more than likely, they never gave that any thought. You know what I'm saying? To the then what? And because you know why? Because most of the time when you sit down with y'all friends and y'all talk about what y'all feeling, there's no then what. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have a cry, y'all have the conversation, you go on. You know what I'm saying? But was anything solved? Maybe, maybe not. You know what I'm talking about? But you got it out and you feel better about it because you got it out. But whatever caused that emotion may still be there. You know what I'm saying? That issue is still there. And then when you go off and you go to realizing, I didn't figure this out. So then you go do one or two things, maybe three. You go back with your friends and y'all cry about it again, or you go ask your man or your dad. You know what I'm talking about? And guess what he give you? So then what? So then when we look at that as flesh and blood men going to Yahuwah. Because see, that's what Esau had. He had the crying, but then what, Esau? No blessing for you. But then when you look at Mashiach, he's sweating. Sweat look like blood. You understand? He got to then what? Let me go to my father, man. He'll straighten that out. You know what I'm saying? And what is that doing? That pain, that emotion that he was feeling, that's why I mentioned that about praying to Elohim. He channeled that to his father. You know what I'm saying? So that's showing you. See, that's something that your mama can't teach a young man. A man got to teach him that because he has to be able. Because Juju just mentioned that he channels emotions. That's how he get his work done. You know what I'm saying? See, men have an outlet to release that. It's the weaker men that y'all are accustomed to who don't know how to channel their emotions, who don't have a group of men who they can go speak to in order to make sense of what they're feeling, in order to actually correct that so they don't feel that way anymore, that those emotions come out and negatively affect the people around them. That's right. Sorrow under Yahuwah does produce repentance. That's what the book say. Godly repentance. He say worldly sorrow, work death. But that's another conversation. But I'm just saying that, and that's the thing that most women are accustomed to. They're accustomed to men who are, some people like to call it emotionally unavailable, but I don't think it's emotionally unavailable. I think it's a lot of people want men to be women. You know what I'm saying? It comes down to, does this man know how to handle what he's feeling? Does he have a proper outlet to channel what he's feeling? Can he remain focused on his task while he's feeling what he's feeling? Does he have a group of men who he can go talk to about what he's feeling in order to unravel all that so that he can execute at the level that a man is supposed to? Because like, well, men bottle stuff up. If a man laid everything on the table towards you, could you really take it? Because the reason why I tell y'all this is because we still talking about book. When Mashiach had the thoughts that he had, did he go lay that at his apostles' feet? No, he didn't. Because they ain't going to be able to do nothing with that information. See, a lot of times, right, y'all say, and when I say y'all, I'm talking about men or women. This ain't necessarily a female thing. People say that they want to know what people going through. But do you really? What I mean by that is, are you mentally and emotionally and spiritually equipped to handle if somebody lay their brain on the table to you for you to help them unravel that? You know what I'm talking about? See, nigga, see, a lot of people, they done told you that's bonding. And ain't nobody trying to bond. If they got something going on in their brain, do you have the mental, spiritual, and emotional capabilities to handle that when they put it on the table? Most people don't. Most people don't. Most people want to act like they do. Most people don't. Most people don't want to deal with what people dealing with on a day-to-day basis. You know what I'm talking about? And when I say don't want to deal with it, they don't want to actually have to take the time to walk with people to help them deal with what they're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Most people don't want to do that. You know why? Because you have to be a servant. That means you would actually have a mind that you would be more concerned with this person's well-being than your own personal time, thoughts, or feelings. Most people are not that unselfish at the end of the day. Because you know what most people go, what about my problem? This nigga always calling me with this stuff. That's how people mind think. But you say this what you want. You say you want your friends. You say you want your man. You say you want these people to do that. But do you really? Because you're going to have to walk with them. And most people don't want to walk. And Brother Tommy said, and it can cause trauma bonding. Some people want to do. But that's what I mean. Do you have the capabilities? Is that something you want to do? Most people don't want to do that because you're going to have to be an unselfish person to do that. Because that means whatever you go through, you're going to have to put that back here in order to show up for this person, to help them unravel what they're dealing with mentally or emotionally or spiritually. Most people are not that astute. That's why he say the body come together as a collective to do it, and one person won't have to carry that burden on their own. You know what I'm talking about? Because most people don't want to carry that. Most people don't want to do that. Just to keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? Everybody say that, but niggas lying. Niggas lying. You know what I'm talking about? Niggas is lying. And I'll tell you the main reason why niggas is lying, especially a lot of niggas who preach the word, because they ain't dealt with their own stuff. So when you come telling them about what you done been through, guess what they go to think about? What they done been through as a child, young adult. And then they got to face what they're dealing with. I don't want to face what I'm dealing with. So I don't want to hear about what you do. I don't want to hear about it. Because now I got to think about my mama didn't love me. Daddy! All that type of stuff. Straight up and down. I'm telling you because I done seen it. Niggas don't want to deal with what they're dealing with. Because look, now you also have the ability to compartmentalize. You know what that means? You know what that means, Lee? Well, to compartmentalize is that you can be dealing with something, put that over here to mentally focus on the task at hand, and not allow this over here to interfere with what you need to do over here. Doesn't mean that you're blocking it out. Doesn't mean that you're not trying to deal with it. But boom, it'd be like this here, just in a simpler term. Let's say you got into it with your spouse, but you got a job to do and you got a deadline and it needs to be done by X, Y, Z, and you got to make sure that you can execute at a high level because it is very necessary for you to execute at a high level to maintain this account. You know what I'm saying? So you won't allow your thoughts of this stuff that you talking about or going through over here seep in over here to affect your performance. That doesn't mean that once you're done with this, I can come back over here and deal with this. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to let this seep over here. Or let's say you ain't got no problems in the house, but you got problems at work or problem in your business. You can compartmentalize and let that stay over there. And I'll deal with those. I'll put them fires out over there. But when I come home, that stays over there. Now I'm home. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to bring that over here for y'all to deal with. This ain't got nothing to do with you. You know what I'm talking about? See, that takes a level of mental and spiritual maturity that most people don't have. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a focus in the mind. You know what I'm saying? That's a hallmark of a strong mind. Some people don't have it. When I'm over here, I'm focused on this. When I'm done with that, I come over here and deal with this. You know what I'm saying? That's difficult for most women. Y'all not taught to do that. Your mama not gonna teach you to do that. You know what I'm saying? If you was to get that lesson, you would have got it from your dad. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all not taught, and that's why I'm focusing on the instruction part. Because some of this stuff is not natural. You're taught it. Some people do some of these things naturally, but it's instruction. If you're instructed to do something, then you do it. If you're not instructed to do it, what framework or basis or foundation are you going to have to be able to execute from? So when I say these things, some people here spoken at that. No, man, we're dealing with what you're taught. You know, you only know what you've been taught. You know what I'm saying? You only know what you have experienced. If you haven't experienced, been taught it, then how could you be able to do it? You're not. You're going to do it the best way you know how, based off of what you think is right. So when you look at the text in the book of Judges, what does it say that the people were doing? They were doing what? What was right in the book say, well, there's no vision, the people perish. Say, well, there's no vision, the people perish. So while we around here talking about we Israelites and all this type of stuff, that's no vision. That's why the people die. You understand? But that's good. I got you well.
First Peter
5:1, man. Let it go.
The elders which are among you, I exhort, who am also an elder, and the witness of the sufferings of Mashiach.
That's right.
And also a partaker of the esteem that shall be revealed.
Amen.
Feed the flock of Elohim.
Do what?
Feed the flock.
Give him the word. Come on.
Which is among you, taking the oversight.
That's
not
right.
by constraint, but willingly.
You see how you say taking the oversight, not by constraint, but willingly.
Not for filthy lucre, but of a ready mind.
Not for money. Give them ready mind and willingly by definition. Now y'all know what it say in Chronicles, right? He say serving with a what? A ready heart and a willing mind. Let's look at why he put giving you ready heart and willing mind. Here, I give it to you in the Hebrew. Give them willingly, that good sir.
Voluntarily, willingly, of one's own accord.
Of one's own accord. Remember what Paul said? He said, if I do this thing willingly, I have a reward. See, some people don't want to preach the word. You know what I'm talking about? They got to be compelled to do it. You got to have to do that. So when he tell you to watch over the people, you're doing it voluntarily, not because you're trying to rule over. Come on, man.
And ready mind is just willing.
And ready mind is willing. Now, I'm going to give it to you in 1 Chronicles 28:9. Now, when he say you got to serve him with a willing mind, and a perfect heart, excuse me. So That's what you got in 1 Chronicles 28:9. Not a ready, but a perfect heart, excuse me. So, of course, you got Shalem, Nefesh. Shalem is a covenant of peace. So you got to have a peaceful mind. So the word got to be in your mind. And then, of course, you know for willing, that's kafetz, and that is delight. You got to be delighted to do it. It's got to bring pleasure to you to serve Yahuwah and serve his people. For a lot of brothers and sisters, man, it don't bring them no pleasure to serve Yahuwah and serve his people. That's what I meant. You got to be a lame to want attention, to want to be seen. That's not the will of God. Come on, good sir. 1 Peter 5, continue.
Neither as being lords over heritage, but being ensembles to the flock.
Being what?
Ensembles to the
He said
flock.
not being lords over his heritage, but being an example to the people. Come on.
And when the chief shepherd shall appear, you shall receive a crown of esteem that fade not away. Likewise, you younger, submit yourselves unto the
So
older.
this, he say younger men ought to submit themselves to the older men. And what he say?
Yeah, all be subject one to another.
Every man should be subject one to another. Why?
Clothed with humility.
Clothed with what?
Humility.
Humble yourself.
For Elohim resist the proud.
And give grace
to the humble.
Come on now.
Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of Elohim.
Humble yourselves under who?
Mighty hand of Elohim.
Because he will exalt
you in due time.
Amen. Come on.
Casting all your care upon him.
Doing what?
Casting all your care.
That's what you see Yahushua do. And that's what I mean by telling your emotions. If you're dealing with something and you say you serve Yahuwah, you're supposed to be casting all them feelings and all them cares upon him because he care about you. Come on, man. Man, De'Aaron, man, your man Marquise just started texting me out the blue, man. That boy, that was going hard in the paint, bro.
Be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walk about seeking whom he may devour. Whom remains.
He said he is a roaring lion seeking to do what?
Who he can devour.
Who he can what?
Devour.
Ain't that what we just seen in Proverbs? Come on back to Proverbs 30. This is probably about 15, 20 minutes ago. Go ahead, man.
Ascended up into Shamahim, or descended,